My name is Megan Dusterhouse. I am the blogger at thehomesIHaveMade.com, where I primarily share organization solutions, DIY home decor, and Cricut tutorials. My bread and butter, or something I really love to do, so to speak, and I'm really good at, is taking some of those nuisance daily tasks in life and figuring out systems to not only streamline them, but also make them easier so that I actually get them done. Some examples you'll find on my blog is meal planning and project planning. And another one of those nuisance things that I have streamlined has been our holiday planning. In this class, I want to chat a bit about why I think it's valuable to plan 25 days of Christmas fun for you and your family, and share my really easy and systematic process for making it fun and easy. Before we dive in and get started, I want to share this free download with you. The link is underneath this class. You can visit that link, put in your information to get this free printable Christmas countdown planner. I will be referencing it a lot in this class, and while you don't have to use it in order to kind of follow my system, it's a great resource to have. You can save it to your computer and access it year after year, which will actually streamline your planning even more by having a lot of the work already done. I want to start this class by first talking about why. Why is it worth following kind of this process for planning out 25 days of Christmas fun? And the short answer is so that you can make all the family memories you want to make over the holidays without the overwhelm, without the stress, without feeling like you're adding even more work and more purchasing and more things to do during an already really busy season. This is a picture of me and my 3 little boys. See if you can find them all. And I love this picture a lot because it really captures the essence of the season of life that I am in. I have 3 busy, rambunctious little boys. I'm married to a service member who has a very demanding job, and I have my own full-time work with my website. And as such, I am juggling a lot of balls on a very regular basis, and it is frequent that I drop them sometimes. During the holidays, when my oldest was younger, I really felt like I was seeing friends and family members and people on social media doing all these really fun things with their kids. But I never seemed to find a way to work them into our really busy life. I was either trying to get tickets and things would be sold out, or I'd say, let's just do this fun craft, and I wouldn't have the supplies, so then I'd run out and get the supplies, and it would make the whole project even more stressful. I just knew there had to be a way to create these really fun holiday memories with my children, but not in a way that felt really soul-sucking during a season that's supposed to bring a lot of joy. So about 5 years ago, I came up with this really unique, really creative solution to count down to Christmas called a Christmas countdown chain. Of course, I jest because I think a lot of families use a Christmas countdown chain to help their kids keep track of how many sleeps till Christmas. But there's something special inside my countdown chain. Inside each link is a paper strip. And inside these paper strips on these paper strips, I should say, are activities. So we have 25 days of Christmas activities, starting on December 1st and leading all the way till the morning of the 25th. You can probably guess what our 25th activity is. It's always to open our presents and have a wonderful Christmas day. So really it's about planning 24 days of Christmas fun. But it is more, there is more to this here than making sure we're filling our calendars with lots of busy things. In fact, it is my way of making sure all the Christmas things get done in a way that's not too busy and not too overwhelming. Because as you can probably see on my number 1, let's wear new Christmas jammies. That's something that you might otherwise do, but I build it into our Christmas chain to make it a fun activity, to make sure it gets done in timely fashion, and to make sure it feels a little extra special. Time to pull out Christmas books, same thing, something that you might already do, but by putting it in our chain, I not only ensure it gets done, but I elevate it and make it feel something fun and extra special for the season. I want to give a reality check before I dive into this. We do not do Elf on the Shelf. We do not do an Advent calendar. We do not do an Advent wreath. We don't read something every day or build something from Legos every day. This Christmas countdown chain, our 25 days of Christmas fun, is the only thing we do during the Christmas season. And as I said before, and you will hear this repeated kind of over and over and over again, built into our 25 days of Christmas fun is decorating our Christmas tree, making our Christmas cookies, kind of those usual things. But then it's also balanced out with kind of fun and special things like a Christmas light scavenger hunt or candy cane games or Christmas bingo. Things that I want to make sure that we do and we have time to do. And I fit them in and layer them in with our already, the things we already do to celebrate the holidays. So just a reminder that if you already have something you love doing, if you love doing Elf on the Shelf, or if you have holiday traditions that you love doing, this is maybe not something to add on top of that. But if you have really struggled to figure out a way to build in family fun in a way that feels really manageable, this is a really great system to try. So to plan a season full of fun without going crazy, there's kind of 6 steps, and this may seem a little formal, but go with me here and we'll work through each step. You're going to start with the December calendar and populate it full of things that are already planned. Make a bucket list of all the fun family things you want to do during the holidays. You're then going to schedule out those 25 days of Christmas fun. You're going to fill out my included planner, assemble a countdown system, and then prep all your activities at once. So let's dive into each of these individual steps. So the first step is actually to start with a blank December calendar. I don't recommend using the December calendar in your planner, the one hanging on your wall. I recommend printing out a fresh blank December calendar and populating it with this year's dates. I actually include a December calendar in that free download. You're then going to fill it in with these already planned or already scheduled events. These are things that are on the calendar that you want to make sure that you prioritize. School events, the local parade, the nativity play, anything that has a really hard date associated with it. At this stage, you also want to start making notes of certain dates or windows for events that you really like to do in your area. Maybe your favorite Santa is only available during certain weekends, or maybe the skating rink is only open during certain hours. Maybe your favorite light tour show only comes during a certain weekend. Start to make those events so that you can incorporate them into your planning. So this is what this initial planning stage looks like. This is the free December calendar I provide. It actually comes with blank dates, and you can come in and fill it in for whichever December you're using, whether it's this coming December or one down a couple years. And as you can see, I just start to hash out some things that are just dates I want to be tracking on. The Toys for Tots deadline. We always make sure we do a Toys for Tots donation, and they're always due by a certain day. Reads Across America is always a certain day. Our favorite light show is only in town a certain weekend. School gets out here. The nativity play at our church is always set on a certain day. So this is just my initial tracking of certain things that are happening on certain dates. Step 2 is to make a holiday bucket list. You want to start by listing out all the things you normally do. Nothing is too small. As I say down here, anything can be made into a fun Christmas activity. Remember, part of the point of this is to elevate your normal activities, to make them feel extra special, so it feels like you're doing lots of things every day, when really you're just doing a lot of your normal holiday prep. So list out those things that you normally do: decorating the tree, baking cookies, hanging outdoor lights, mailing Christmas cards, visiting Santa. Next, include any ideas you've seen, heard, wanted to try. Maybe you've seen a cool idea on Pinterest, you saw a really great video on TikTok that you want to try. Start to list out these things so that you're keeping track of them. Again, even if it's things that you would do anyway, go ahead and put it on your list. Here's a couple examples if you're struggling to think about some fun activities: wearing Christmas jammies for the first night, Christmas games such as bingo or candy cane games, a Christmas light scavenger hunt, going to a nativity play, Christmas caroling, reading Christmas books, making Christmas crafts. I have these adorable Christmas bingo cards free on my website. The link is down below this class, so you can visit my site to grab these bingo cards to play Christmas bingo with your family. And if you need even more ideas, I actually have a whole blog post dedicated to coming up with either free or really inexpensive holiday activities. I also have some charitable giving activities that you can incorporate into your 25 days. So if you are having trouble populating your 25 days of Christmas fun, be sure to visit this blog post, also linked below the class. So here is the holiday bucket list that comes with my free download. One thing I really love about having kind of a formal bucket list is if you keep a holiday planner, that you pull out year after year. This is great just to tuck right in so that you can pull it up year after year. You can also just save it on your desktop or in an Evernote notebook, whatever you use to keep track of things. I love having a running list. It makes coming up with ideas really easy. You can delete things off that maybe you've outgrown or you've decided aren't worth the time. And it also gives you a place to kind of jot ideas all year long as you think of them. So your next step is to plan your 25 days of Christmas fun. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to overlay the December calendar of all the things that are already scheduled and the bucket list of all the things you want to do. And my best recommendation for doing that is you want to start with those events that have non-negotiable dates. Put in the neighborhood Christmas party, put in the Santa fun run on the days that they belong. Next, add in activities that have to happen in certain windows. So if your ice skating rink is only open during a certain weekend, if you can only go see Santa during a certain time, make sure you fit those in. Then you want to assign events that should happen during certain times of the month. So ideally, you want to decorate your Christmas tree toward the beginning of the month. So put that in the first few days of December. If you like to give Christmas cookies to neighbors as gifts, maybe make baking cookies toward closer to Christmas so that that's worked in. Anything that has to happen during a certain time of the month, go ahead and think that through and add that in accordingly. And then fill in gaps. Hopefully you do have gaps. If you don't have gaps, you might want to edit down the amount of formal activities that you're committing to. But then fill in those gaps with the really easy, low impact, low budget, low time commitment activities such as reading stories, making crafts, wearing Christmas socks, things like that. As you start to build out your 25 days of Christmas fun, it's really, really important that you remember your daily life. This is already a really busy season, and adding in a Christmas activity every day can feel like a lot. But if you take into account your regular daily life and match the correct activity with the things you've got going on that day, all of a sudden it will become a lot more manageable. And here's what I mean. Do not plan gingerbread house building on a night where you guys have sports practices, late meetings, super busy things stacked up at the end of the day. Maybe save that time-intensive activity for after school on Friday or a weekend day. On the flip side, for those busy days, leave things that take no time at all, like wearing those holiday socks or reading a Christmas story before bedtime or having a Christmas music dance party after teeth are brushed. Those are things that are easy to squeeze in even on really busy days. So to start to build your 25 days, I actually recommend printing out a fresh December calendar. So the same one we used before, but this time it's another blank one. And I start to translate all those dates and ideas into 25 days. And as you can see, this is done in pencil. And there's lots of crossouts and lots of moving things around. And this is really a brainstorm session. This is really a way for you to make sure you have a good spread of activities, that you fit in things that you really want to do. Because there's a really good chance you're going to have more things on your bucket list than you have space for in your 25 days of Christmas. Notice that there's only one activity per day. It does include things like going to see Christmas lights, playing Christmas bingo, building gingerbread houses, going to the nativity play, but there's only one thing each day. You also want to make sure that you have a nice spread of activities. So not everything is really expensive. Maybe only one or two things that require tickets or expensive supplies or products. Have a nice blend of things that require getting in the car and leaving, and a nice spread of things that can be done close to home versus buckling everybody into the car to drive to go out and do something. So seeing all 25 days at a glance really allows you to kind of spread things out so that it's really manageable for your family and your lifestyle. Tip. Always, once you've got your 25 days planned out, run your plan by your partner or your spouse or your family members. Without fail, every time I present our plan to my spouse and he's tracking on something I'm not, either there's a party we've been invited to that I wasn't aware of, or he sees two things butted up next to each other that really should be spread out, getting another set of eyes can really help make sure your plan stays manageable. So step 4 is to fill out the planner that I've included in the free download. And before you think this is a little too type A for you, hear me out, because this is really where things become super systematic and will really save you a lot of stress and a lot of extra work. So in my download, I include these 3 pages, which is the Countdown to Christmas actual planning pages. And as you can see, there's a row for each of the 25 days of Christmas. Here, you can populate whatever day of the week lines up based on whatever December you're in. So you can come in and type this in. Then you can fill in the activity you've assigned for that day, and then you can list out anything you need to buy, prep, or prepare to execute that specific activity. This is a way for you to match whatever you've got planned to whatever you need to do ahead of time to make sure that activity can actually happen. Here is one of the really nice things about this download. When you start to type in these activities, you can certainly handwrite it if you prefer, but as you start to type these activities in, I'm going to type in just 4 examples for you here, and then I'm going to show you what it does further down in this printable kit. I'm going to scroll down here to these activity strips, and as you can see, they already pre-populated. So everything I typed into that activity planner populates onto the matching strip here a few pages down, and here's what you can do with them. You can print them once you have them all populated, and then these strips can be trimmed down and loaded into whatever countdown system you use. So by typing into the planner, you have these ready-made strips, so you don't have to worry about handwriting things or cutting things out over and over and over again. Everything is kind of done for you, which is really nice. So once you have your activity planner done and all of your supplies and everything listed out and your strips populated and cut out, now you get to come up with whatever countdown system you want to use. We always use a countdown chain. It works really well. It's really easy. Kids can visualize it. It's really cheap because it's just paper. But you can certainly use anything you like to count down the 25 days to Christmas. So you might have one of those boxes that have little drawers or little doors for the 25 days. You can use mini stockings. You can use envelopes with numbers on them, tiny gift bags, little boxes, anything that you like to count down the 25 days for Christmas. And you can just take those strips of paper and roll them up or fold them up and put them in whatever you like to use. As I said before, we really like the paper chain. I made mine with my Cricut machine, and we actually use ours year after year. I have the full tutorial linked below, but just to kind of show you, I showed you this picture before, but one thing you may not have noticed is that our links are reusable. So I've got these little arrows and these little slits so they link into each other. And so I'm able to pull out the exact same links every year. I print out fresh strips. Another tip is I print them onto sticker paper, so I don't even need to use tape or glue. I just stick them right in. So I kind of make my chain once. We've been using the same chain for 5 years now. I redo my strips every year, and the whole thing comes together really quickly. The final step is to prep everything that you need at once. I think it can be really easy to sit down with the printable kit or your planner and plan out your 25 days of Christmas fun and make your paper chain and stop there. I can guarantee you it will catch up with you, and you'll find yourself on the 5th, 6th, 7th of December not ready to go. I highly recommend sitting down with that list, or we made that list of all the things you need to supply or prep, and do everything at once. I personally like to do it on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and I order tickets, I purchase supplies, I do a run to Michael's to pick up the little craft kits because they're always on sale. I make any reservations that we need so that I head into December with everything done. Everything's purchased, the socks are in, the jammies are in. Tip on the jammies. Don't wait until after Thanksgiving to order jammies. If there's certain jammies you like, or a certain company you like, I highly recommend shopping for them around Halloween. Put a reminder in your phone, but otherwise everything else can typically be purchased in that Black Friday, Cyber Weekend period. So again, this is what it looks like, that if you have this whole list pre-populated here, you just have to work down one at a time, buy the holiday socks, print out the scavenger hunt pages, order the gingerbread kits. Don't leave anything until December. Get it printed out, get the crayons, get the flashlights, get everything assembled that you need for each activity. Print out the bingo cards, buy the Hershey Kisses to use as your bingo card things. Have it all ready to go so that all you have to do is execute in December. Tip, whether you use it digitally or you print out that Christmas planner, keep it nearby and be able to access it regularly. I don't like to be surprised every morning when my kids open the chain link. I'm like, oh, we're making gingerbread houses today. I like to be aware of what's coming. So usually the night before, I will check my printed planner, see what's coming up for the day. Again, everything is pre-bought and pre-staged. But sometimes I like to have things laying out in the morning. Sometimes I like to have things wrapped up depending on what it is. So make sure you kind of keep that Christmas planner on hand so you know what's coming without having to undo your chain link or undo your little drawers. And then the last step, I didn't even include it because it's pretty obvious, is to execute your plan. Come December 1st, you open the number 1 link on your Christmas countdown chain or your little bags or drawers or whatever you're using. You've got all your supplies. You've got everything waiting. So all you have to do is execute. And the best part is that you really get to sit back and relax because you know the tree's going to get decorated. You know the cookies are going to get made. You're going to do a little cute Christmas ornament craft. You're going to go on the Christmas light scavenger hunt. You've got tickets to go see your favorite Santa, what it may be. You can actually enjoy that moment with your family because you have it all planned out. And that means you get to then in turn enjoy all your favorite traditions, right? You don't have to worry that you get to the end of the season and you forgot to make the special cookies or you forgot to put the certain thing on the tree. You have plenty of time to execute everything that you wanted to this holiday season. So I hope you really enjoyed learning about this system. I cannot emphasize enough how well it works. My kids, we're going on the 5th year of it. And even my 12-year-old, are you going to make the chain again this year, Mom? It's something my kids really look forward to. So, I initially set out to come up with a way to create really special holiday traditions for my kids in a way that was stress-free for me. And I was absolutely able to achieve that because of the system I showed you today. Once you get into the routine of it, now you can kind of pull up your Printable kit and just kind of repeat it year after year even. It's a really great system. I hope you give it a try. I hope it reduces your stress for the upcoming holiday season. And if you have any questions about how it works, any comments, any feedback, or just want to reach out and say hi, I love having new followers to my blog. Make sure you reach out at my website, thehomesivemade.com, or on any social channels.